Hey everybody, you may already realize that when a screw penetrates the insulation of an energized conductor, bad things happen. It can be anywhere from a simple short circuit where the breaker trips to a building fire or an all-out arc explosion in soiled bridges. It can all be very dangerous and embarrassing. Okay, so now you may have guessed, we are here to talk about electrical panel screws today. First, I want to introduce you to the AFS. This is an AFS. As opposed to what you should be seeing is a regular panel screw with a blunt tip. Now, these are very popular. We see them all the time, right? First of all, when we're talking electrical safety, you need to take a macro look. This should be your approach on everything is the macro, micro look. So when we're talking macro, step back and take a look at everything. Do you have proper clearances, right? You should have 3 feet in front and 2.5 feet wide in front of an electrical panel. So before you touch anything, step back and just take a look. Make sure that things look safe, right? Don't approach a panel if you look at it and something in that surrounding area just doesn't look right, something feels wrong. I always say, if you have that hunch, follow it, right? If you have improper clearances, sometimes you may have water on the floor or something like that. That would be bad. Make sense? So first and foremost, if you feel that there's something dangerous, you are never expected to subject yourself to something that may harm you, another person, or the property. You just simply got to tell somebody, notify the agents, homeowners, the clients, anybody that might be there. And then, extremely important step, you have to qualify your limitations in the report. All right. If you don't put it in your report, it never happened or occurred like you might describe. So the AFS, AKA America's favorite screw. I know that sounds funny, but this is very, very common. We see these daily. There are other types of, there's all kinds of variants. There's other types of pointed screws, and they should never, ever be used to secure an electrical panel. You will see all kinds of stuff out there like these. And there are multiple versions of this AFS screw, okay? None of these are acceptable. It has never, ever been, quote unquote, code back then to use anything like this, nor approved by any kind of a manufacturer. So never put these types of screws into a panel. This was a picture from a friend of mine, Bo Passon, who found this very creative, right? Here was another one sent to me by William Neal. If you do use screws like this, bad things happen. Make sense? Look, I have always made it a habit of collecting and carrying and replacing with a proper flat tip screw in an electrical panel. All right. If you don't already have some of these, you can go purchase them from your local hardware store, right? Home Depot, Menards, Lowe's, Ace Hardware, anything like that. They all carry these things. I personally, I have extra stuff like fill plates, ridge vent termination caps, other small things like that that I can use to make situations safer and better than when I arrived. So before installing any panel cover, you need to make sure you look and see if where that screw goes in the hole there, that the space behind it is clear. So the image on the top, look, the wire runs right across where that dead panel is going to be secured, and that a screw will be inserted through there. This is just simply not right, but easy to see. This I could easily pick up and move on the other side, push it back. Single wire, plenty of room, no problem. But make sure you take a look. If there is a wire or wires in the way, I just won't insert a screw in a hole like this, right? That's a big red flag. So let's talk about when you make contact with alternating current, it can cause what they call skeletal muscle contractions. And that actually prevents you from self-releasing or letting go of the energized thing that you're holding on to. In 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 the pool world, there is something called ESD or electric shock drowning. And that's what I'm referring to. It's the same thing when you're above water and you touch or grab something that's energized, your muscles will contract and you'll grab it even firmer, and you personally won't be able to let go. So to give you a perspective, this chart here shows, number one, the authoritative source. It's not just my opinion. The amount of current and the effect it will have on the body, right? Now, all these may vary a little bit. You have factors like if you're sweating, that's going to be more conductive. If you have high humidity, atmospheric moisture, the length of contact, and other scenarios like that. But if you look even here on this one here at 0.07 amps, it tells you 70 milliamps can be fatal. Holy cow, that's not a lot of current, but it can actually be fatal. So if you see a sign, follow your hunch. Got it? That's what's on the other side of this. Again, that's kind of funny, right? Danger, no screw. Yeah, I got that one. That one's quite clear. Another graphic I really, really like. We're talking a very, very low amount of current again, where up to where a GFCI is set to trip, it's going to hurt. Okay. When you get above that, you start getting into the area where you can't let go. You can't self-release. As you go up from there, it turns into from a little bit of pain to a lot of pain and can actually be fatal. So some things you can do to help prevent electrical shock or injury is wearing glasses. And the older you get, sometimes they're always on your head, right? Even before I turned 39, I would always carry. I really liked the yellow lenses, and I had a pair of yellow lens glasses that I would just carry in my pouch, and I could always use. Gloves will help insulate you, and then of course, insulated screwdrivers. Awesome. If you don't already have magnetic tip and insulated tools, I'd definitely look into something like that. There are a lot of different things you can do, and just so you know, if anybody here is interested, I can hook you up. I'm happy to equip you with certain protective gear. You just got to let me know, and what your need is, and I got you. Okay, so one thing that you have got to be aware of is something they call shock pathways. All right. You don't want to have any part of your body touching metallic items or conductive items that are adjacent to an electrical panel. So you're standing in front of this thing. Oftentimes the panels are in the garage, and what is nearby is a mat. A simple mat like this can help insulate you when you're standing on a concrete surface, right? A lot of garages will also have conductive things like toolboxes or refrigerators that are nearby. You don't want to become the pathway in between things like this, right? If you were to lean back and touch both sides and close that loop, well, then what we've learned is bad things happen, right? This is where you can get shocked. And we've already talked about and learned that it takes just a little bit of current for really bad things to happen, from pain to muscle contraction to even death. So what we have learned here is any pointed screw is a no-no. These AFS screws should never, ever, ever be used. If you ever see these type of things, hopefully you're carrying some extras in your pouch, and just say no to pointed screws. We appreciate you guys. Be safe out there.